Hi everybody, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules. My name is Scott Daly. I'm here with Alex Claro, who's Solutions Architect at Perdicom, and I've also got Alex Smith, a Major Accounts Manager at Perdicom. So the run of the day, essentially, Alex Claro will be giving a presentation looking at the Ruckus portfolio through access points into the management platform, and we'll touch a little bit on ICX switching towards the end. Once that's all completed, Alex Smith is here on hand to answer any questions that you might have. I hope you enjoy it. I will hand over to Alex Claro and we will speak to you soon.
Hi guys, so thank you for the introduction. And again, thank you for LAN3 for hosting us today. So this is the Ruckus dashboard. So this is live data. This is actually our managing director's house. So you can see exactly how he uses it. We practice what we preach. We use all of our own products. But from the dashboard, you'll see it's quite intuitive. There's a lot of information at your disposal from the very get-go. So what you can see in front of you is we're hosting the EU, so we're fully GDPR compliant. It's hosted in Amazon Web Services, so it's fully redundant, fully scalable. You can have up to 10,000 access points in every single instance, which is a really nice feature. There's no real limitation. If you can get 10,000 access points, fair play to you. But from here, you can also see we've got to send feedback. If there's anything you don't like about the platform or anything you think that it's missing, you can write some feedback, and Ruckus will actually notify you, they'll email you, they'll reach out to you and say it's coming in this version of firmware or this roadmap update, or, yep, we're aware of this and we're going to take notes and add it as a feature request. So they're always listening. You can also open up a support case right from the get-go. Not that we ever really have to do with the Ruckus platform because it just seemingly works. Now, what you can also see is you have a big Google Maps image in front of you. So it's based on triangulation, effectively. So you put in your address, and you're going to have a little pin on your map, and it's going to say green is good, amber is not so great, and red is, oh my God, something is broken. But from here, you can drill straight into your venues. You can see how many APs you've got online, how many clients. If it's like this icon here where it's black, it just means we haven't added any access points to it. So what you can also see here is you've got your alarms. So you can see our RMDs actually using mesh APs together, and one of the mesh links went down a day ago. We can see all of our venues, so we can expand our venues, see the number of APs, the number of networks, the number of clients connected to that venue. We can then also see our access points, see the operational state, and we can drill into each one of these sections directly from the dashboard. What you can also see here is the traffic volume. So if I go to the last 7 days, it's going to automatically render. You can actually go all the way to 30 days of data retention. So you can see the traffic volume, you can see the peaks and troughs of when it was used the most, the number of unique clients. So if you're in a hospitality vertical, or say you're producing public Wi-Fi, you may want to know how many unique clients you've had connected to your system. This is a really simple way just to show you as a whole. Now, if you do have multiple sites, it's really simple. You add what's known as another venue. As you see here, we've got 2 venues. Those 2 venues are treated completely independent of one another, can have different SSIDs, and you just assign the access point to that venue, and then it picks up that configuration instantaneously. Typically, when you move an access point between a venue, it may reboot. It'll only take about a minute to actually move itself across and download the configuration for that venue. So it's a really seamless process. You literally have the ability to take an AP from one building, place it in another building, move it to that new building's venue, and it will just work within a couple of minutes. So let's just look at the venues to start with. So from the venues, I'm going to click on Cop Heath. It's going to show you everything from how many active alarms are in the venue, straight from the top of the dashboard. If you've got any floor plans, you've placed them on here, it'll show you the floor plans. You can also then see, again, the traffic volume, the unique clients for that specific venue, along with which applications are being used the most. So you may say, well, which ones are from the client and to the client? And no surprise, you've got Google, Amazon, and all the usual suspects are stealing all the bandwidth, but you can now see that application usage. What you can also do is, again, you've got Google Maps here, so you can zoom into the map, make the map full screen if you want to have it on a big TV to display the maps. You can also enable mesh networking from a simple button. You can view the Wi-Fi radio settings and make any adjustments on the zone. So this is effectively your radio profile. How do you want your radios to work? What bandwidths do you want to use? What power do you want them to use? What channels would you like them to use? What you can also do, and this is what I find really helpful, is the LAN port settings. So every Ruckus AP that has multiple switch ports, and I'm going to pick on the H510 here, for example, which is a wall plate access point, really great for in-room deployments, is you can modify each one of the ports, make it a trunk port, change the VLAN tags underneath. Maybe you want to have one port being accessed and have a different VLAN trunk. Change the PoE port and change what it's using. So you can do all of this from the dashboard. It's a single pane of glass. You can also then modify syslog server if you wish to have that. You can enable location-based servers. Now this is a time something called vSpot, another Ruckus feature where you can actually do location-based analytics. You can also manage the LEDs. Maybe you've got an access point in a bedroom. Maybe you don't want the light to be broadcasting because it's distracting. So you can actually turn off the LEDs, again, from the dashboard. What you can also then do from the venue is view the number of clients. So I'm going to pick on a random access point. I'm going to pick on Jill's iPad. So this is the MD's wife, so I'm not going to do anything too silly because I'll get told off. But I can start doing a test connection. I can do a ping to her device. I can begin a trace route. I can begin a packet capture and start capturing the data live from the platform. That is something that not a lot of other vendors offer. More to the point, what I can also see from here is the SSID she's connected to, the AP she's connected to. I can see the RSSI and the signal to noise ratio. Again, it's really handy to know the signal strength. I can see how much data she's sent and received. Now, it's all really useful information to happen. If I really wish to, I can disconnect it from the Wi-Fi as well. Obvious reasons I won't, because my MD has shotguns and he will kill me. But you can do that from this dashboard. You can also click on here and see at what point she failed. So here I can see that this iPad failed to get a DHCP message. Okay, well, why is that handy? Well, I can now know, do I have an issue with my network or do I have an issue with my wireless? And I can pinpoint that information directly. That's a really handy feature to have. Now, what Ruckus are going to do and take it one step further is we're actually going to make it so you can do a live client connectivity trace. So you see the same information, but you can see how a client connects live, showing live data streams. Now, again, this is something that not a lot of other vendors can offer you. What you can also do is you can see the historical statistics. You can see the average data rate. You can see the user traffic. You can see all the applications that have been used. And this is just over the last 24 hours. I can even go back to 6 months worth of data retention if I wish to. Now, this will obviously take some time to render, but you get the idea. I can go back 6 months in time. I was going to change it so it runs a little bit quicker. And from there, so 24 hours, so I can see the data rate, which band they were using. I can see the traffic trend. I can see the traffic by radio. I can see the applications this device has used the most and any peaks and troughs. Again, from your fingertips, any events the device has had or any sessions it's had, it's all there from the main dashboard. And again, I can't stress this enough. The troubleshooting tab that you have here at your live disposal, where you can literally click on and see at what point it failed. I know if it fails at frame 2, they've typed in on username and password. Here it's telling me it timed out obtaining a DHCP message. It's such an easy way to work out whether it's a user issue, a wireless issue, or just a general networking issue, saving you time and making you more efficient managing your network as a result. You can also export the data here. So I can export this data. It's going to bring it a zip file. From that zip file, I can open up. I can see all the properties in a nice conventional CSV format and modify them however which way I want to do reporting on them should I wish to do so. Now, there is other reporting graphs within that map, so don't worry, it's not all a manual process. But what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take a look at the access points. So I'm going to look at the garage outside, for example. Now, this is an outdoor AP, and it's a perfect example, but you may say, well, I can't remember where I put that outdoor access point, so where did I place it? Not to worry, you can add a photograph. So if there's any access point where you've put it in a location you can't quite remember where it is, or it's in an obscure area, then you can upload a photo and you can see exactly what that AP, well, where the AP is placed, more importantly, to find it again, should you need to do so. Maybe you want to use one of the secondary Ethernet ports, an external radio. You can do that. It's all there at your disposal. You can also modify the access point as well. So here I can see how long it's been up, the firmware version, the model, the admin password, the MAC address, the IP address. But maybe I want to do a bit more than that. Maybe I want to test connectivity to the AP and do a ping test, a trace route test. Maybe I want to download the log. Maybe I actually want to remove that access point and factory reset it and move it to a different area. I can do that. I can also remotely reboot the access point. I can also, change the venue and move it to a different venue. I can change the AP group and move it to a different AP group. I can change the name. I can give it a tag so it stands out a little bit more. What I can also do is enable Bonjour gateway settings. So I can choose a service. So I may want to redistribute some of my Apple services or Google services from one VLAN to another. So I have all my MDNS traffic isolated in one VLAN, while all my clients sit in another VLAN and they still want to use that service. You can do that from here. It's one pane of glass. What you can also do is modify the radio settings. Maybe you want different radios to do different things, or you'd like to disable a radio in one area. Maybe it's a highly densely populated area where you've got lots of 2.4 signals and you want to disable some of the 2.4 bands to make it a little bit cleaner, a little bit more spectrally efficient. You can do that. What you can also do, and again, I mentioned this earlier, but you can modify all the LAN ports directly from the AP. So maybe you've got the zone as a general area or the venue having one setting for the LAN ports, but maybe you've got one AP that needs to be slightly different. You can do that. What you can also then do is look at the clients connected, the networks connected. Now, the great thing about the networking area is you can see which venues, which APs, which VLANs it's attached to. So I'm just going to go all the way back to venues to start with, and then click on networks. What I can now do is I can turn off certain SSIDs. So maybe I don't want the family SSID being broadcasted. I can just click the button and it will turn it off. I'm not going to do that because there's clients connected, but you could do that from here. Maybe you've got an event that you wish to have only for that day, or just enable it for that day and then turn it off afterwards. If you really wanted to, you can also do a custom schedule. Now, I personally use a custom schedule quite a lot, so I actually stop working at night and go to bed. But you can actually make a custom schedule and say, well, I don't want the family to be able to access it between that time and that time there. I'll click save, and then automatically the SSID stops being broadcasted. So you have full control of the network. Now, what you can also do is add a new network. Now, it's really simple. So I'm going to create one called test. You can have something called a pre-shared key, dynamic pre-shared key, which is Ruckus's way of giving individual passphrases to every single user. What you can also then do is it will show you where that key is distributed. Is it going to be located in the cloud? Is it located at the access point? So, for example, if I pick Cloud Path, which is one of Ruckus's onboarding solutions, I'll actually say to you, well, in this instance, you're going to be using the internet to authenticate. So now you know if my internet goes down, what happens? What do I lose? The other benefit you've got is captive portals. So everyone has a captive portal, that's no different. But one thing that Ruckus do differently is if you have a self sign-in, you'll notice you've got Google, Facebook, all the usual suspects for social media, but you've also got SMS right down here. Now, unlike other vendors, Ruckus gives you the ability to send SMS tokens to your guests for free. So they can join the portal, they can receive an SMS token and join it that way. Now, you may say that's really good, but that's only SMS. What else can it do? Well, I can also redirect you to the website after they've authenticated. But what about if I told you could start doing targeted advertisements? You can place a marketing message. This Wi-Fi is great. I know it's shameless, but I'm going to say it. You can then place an advert. Maybe you've got a special deal for your organization on at certain times of the day. Well, you can place an advert and upload the advert for that time of day. And it will completely change the look and feel of this. You can change the logo. You can change the welcome text. You can change the English as well. Sorry, English. Change the language, sorry. And maybe you want it in Italian, for example, and it'll change all of the text live. It'll do a live display of the text and what it looks like. And after that, you just click the venue you'd like it to activate on, and it'll instantaneously broadcast. Now, what you can also do, I'm going to pick on one SSID here, because it's just a general PSK. I can view the encryption. I can view the passphrase. I can see where the data is going to break out. I can see all the way that the SSID is configured. What I can also do is edit the network. Now, if I go to advanced settings here, I can see, well, I can impose a certain VLAN ID. I can see, well, which load balancing I want to introduce or rate control. So I can do it unlimited. I can do it per client. So in this instance, every client can only have 20 megabits per second, but I may want to have it per AP. What I can also do is enable load balancing and band balancing. Maybe I want to have a device connection policy. So I want to block or allow certain MAC addresses. You can do that. What you can also do is set up a traffic policy. So maybe you want to have certain IP addresses that you don't want clients to get to. In a guest network, for example, well, you can do that by IP address, subnet, IP address range. You can even choose a protocol you wish to allow or block. It's so simple to use and all the power is at your fingertips. What you can also do is enable client isolation. Don't allow clients to talk to one another. You can force clients to use DHCP. So if they've got a static IP address, they're not allowed to connect. You can also enable OFDM and disable the legacy data rates. You can also change the minimum BSS rate, change how often the client inactivity timeout, change the multicast and broadcast thresholds. You can even, if you wish to do so, activate it on another venue. Maybe you just want to change the SSID name or change the work passphrase. You can do that all from a single pane of glass. More to the point, if you click on users and you've got certain users in here, again, you can see all about those users. It will show you the host names. If you're using something like 82.1x and you're using Active Directory, it'll actually show you the username of that device. So I'm Alex Claro, it will show us alex.claro. If you're doing guest pass, now guest pass is a nice way of allowing reception users or anyone to give a guest pass to a user. And all they'll be able to do is log in and distribute a single guest pass. And that's it. Maybe using DPSK, you're giving individuals their unique encryption keys. You can do that from here, and it will show you that individual key, MAC address, passphrase, the VLAN they're going to, when it expires, if you put an expiry on there. You can then also view all the events. So if you're quite sad like me, you may want to know all the AP events. Okay, well, I can see that this AP connected, had a configuration update. Maybe I want to look at a certain client. Okay, well, I can now see that this MAC address disconnected from the Wi-Fi due to lack of activity, and it then reconnected later on. You can see all of that from here. There is also analytics, so you can view top clients by traffic, so you can see who's been using the most data on the network. You can see number of sessions. Now, this is all new to Ruckus. They are producing a lot more reports and the ability to customize reports. Unfortunately, it's not here just yet, but next month, or rather this month, this quarter rather, they're releasing the ability to manage your Ruckus ICX switches. So for those of you who don't know, Ruckus bought a company called Brocade Networks. Brocade Networks have a switching division. Ruckus have kept all the engineering staff and kept everything the same. They've just changed the name from being Brocade to Ruckus. From here, you can now manage your Ruckus switches, or rather next quarter, this quarter even, you can manage all your Ruckus switches from a single pane of glass, not just monitoring them, but configuration as well. So you no longer need to know the CLI. You no longer have to have two disparate platforms. Just one pane of glass to do everything. And of course, you've got full administration, so you can change notifications, add administrators. You can enable support. Now, when I say enable support, what I mean by that is most other vendors have direct access to your system. That's obviously a massive security issue. So what you can do with this, you can enable it. And after 7 days, if you forget to turn it off, don't worry, it will turn off for you. It's really so simple. And the last thing before I hand back to my two colleagues is how do you add an AP? Well, you click the add an AP button and to say loading licenses. Now, unfortunately, we have reached our license limit on this demo system, but you have the option to pop in the serial number, click add, and it's going to add it to that venue automatically. If you wish to be a bit clever, you could also use something called the Swipe app from Ruckus, and that's available on Android and iOS. What that will do is it will like to scan the barcode of every single access point and automatically place it into your Ruckus Cloud dashboard. You can also, if you really want to, and you've got all the serial numbers of all the devices, upload a CSV file to the dashboard, and the APs will automatically join based on that. So I see we've got some questions, so I'm going to pass over to the other Alex, my other colleague, and we'll go through those now.
Thank you, Alex. So, yep, some of these have been coming through during the presentation, so you may have already covered these. But the first one is, as a network manager, how do I manage multiple sites?
So it's a really good question. So we've got the concept of venues. So what you would do is you would add multiple venues. You can add as many as you like. So you pop in the venue name, pop in the address notes, add any floor plans you wish to do so, pop in the address into Google Maps so it can geolocate you to the right area. And after that, you simply just add APs to it. And if you've got an access point from, say, the Cop Teeth venue, all I would do is I'd select the access point and go, right, I'm going to edit the AP. You now belong to my venue, the other venue I've created. Click save, and the AP will go away, reboot. 2 minutes later, actually less than that, if I'm being quite honest, it will jump away into the new zone. I mean, you've got just enough time to make a cup of tea.
Fantastic, thank you. I think one you just covered, but it came in a little bit earlier, is there switch integration, and what sort of features do you have or will you have?
So at the moment, I'll be quite honest, the switch integration isn't there, and it is committed to come out this quarter. So that will be able to manage any of the Ruckus ICX switching. That will be configuration and monitoring, so it won't just be a monitoring platform. You'll be able to do full configuration as well from that.
Fantastic. Another one is, how do you connect the APs to your cloud, and what if you have multiple sites?
So if you've got multiple sites, there's two ways to do it. So unfortunately, because we've had a license limit, it won't let me show you. But if I was to go to add AP, it's going to say loading licenses, I don't have enough licenses. You get two options. Either upload a CSV file, and you can download a demo CSV file so you know what the format needs to be and upload it. In that CSV file, it'll specify the venue and then the APs and the serial numbers, and the APs are automatically pushed to that venue. Or you can use the Swipe provisioning app from Ruckus where you can scan all the barcodes. Actually, that's what we've done for some of our customers who wish to use our services. We basically scanned the barcodes and provisioned it straight into their Ruckus Cloud platform, meaning when they got to site, the APs were already provisioned in their cloud platform. They just had to plug in, give it a couple of minutes to download their config, and away they go.
Fantastic. And one actually that's just come in, which ties in quite nicely, is the Swipe app. What iOS is it supporting on, or platforms is it supporting on? So
it's supported on Android and it's supported on iOS at the time of writing. So unfortunately, if you're a BlackBerry user, there is no support for it.
Cool. Fantastic. And last question for the time being is, can I have delegated admins and or sub-admins across different sites?
Yes, you can. So Under the administrators, you can see we've got different administrators here. So I'm not the root admin, so I can't add them in, but you could have different administrators and basically lock them down to different views in effect.
Fantastic. I think that's it for the time being. I'll let Nev any more pop on in the meantime, but otherwise I'll hand over to Scott with some closing comments.
Right, thanks to both Alexes for the time today, and also thank you guys for joining the webinar. I hope it was beneficial. A lot of things happening with Ruckus, in particular Ruckus Cloud. What we are going to do is host our second webinar of the series on the 12th of December. We're going to be looking at the ICX switching. A lot of people might not be aware of it, so we're going to bring that to light and hopefully answer any questions you might have. But like I said, thank you for your time, and thanks to Perdicom for helping support this webinar today.
Oh, and guys, just before we go, there's one thing I just remembered as well. For those of you who want to manage your system completely remotely and never have to worry about having a laptop, maybe want to manage it from your iPad, there is a Ruckus Cloud app as well. So you can manage everything from your smartphone at your fingertips, wherever you are in the world. Cheers, guys. Hope you had a great day.